Okay, we're coming to you live from Chicago. I'm with Jim Kobeilus. How are you, Jim?
I'm doing really well, thank you very much.
What about the trend towards in-database analysis?
In database analysis, that's a term I often have to put on my little professor hat and explain to people that there's some new stuff there, but it's also an old approach. People don't realize they've been doing it for quite some time. When I say it's an old approach, well, what is in database analytics? It's pushing analytical application logic into the database management system itself to execute next to the database or inside the database. If you've been doing stored procedures or user-defined functions in your DBMS, your RDBMS, then you've already pushed application logic. It could be transactional application logic to support high volume, ACID transactions. It could be analytical logic to support reporting and ad hoc query. But that's a form of in-database if you're doing it for analytics, that's a form of in-database analytics that's used quite widely everywhere, has been deployed for a while. Likewise with user-defined functions. What's new about in-database analytics is that now we finally have an open framework or interface or set of standards that allow a broader range of analytic functions to be pushed down into a database and executed in there. What I'm saying is, moving away from these proprietary store procedure, UDF, and other interfaces and languages, towards an approach that's built on something called MapReduce, and there's another one called Hadoop. Has its own related interfaces. These are an open standard, essentially. Hadoop and MapReduce are broadly under the Apache Foundation, that many vendors have built, data warehousing vendors have incorporated in their architectures so that you can build applications in tools that allow you to do modeling of, say, data mining, text analytics, and other analytic functions. In MapReduce, and I'm not going to define MapReduce to any greater extent on this podcast because it is fairly involved, and then push those MapReduce functions down to an analytic database ecosystem in a way that enables you to scale up the processing of those analytic functions in a way that's more is faster and more modular and is more agile than if you were to try to do this similar types of advanced analytics in a traditional proprietary architecture. So now we have an open standard that many vendors support, both of data warehousing vendors and advanced analytics tool vendors in this market to enable this new approach called in-database analytics in a way that is heterogeneous or agnostic to the underlying execution platform. Really, what's the benefit of going to this new approach? Well, really, one of the key benefits of going to this new approach for doing in-database analytics is that you can then build MapReduce models in one tool and then deploy them to Aster data or to Teradata or to Netezza or any other data warehousing vendor that supports MapReduce interfaces. So in other words, there's that degree of cross-platform portability of advanced analytic models now that wasn't quite as feasible in the past. So that's a brand new and very powerful paradigm that's has achieved it's on the verge of achieving ubiquity throughout the data analytics space. And so Aster putting on this Big Data Insights today here in Chicago. Aster's already really in many ways helped to evangelize this approach and been one of the vendors in the forefront of doing that. And now, one of the nice things about this particular summit is that they've brought in their partners like MicroStrategy and SAS and Dell and others to demonstrate how a complete enterprise data warehousing ecosystem with all of these partner solutions can leverage things like MapReduce to enable companies to build ever more complex analytic applications and deploy them into a broader range of business functions. So it's a really exciting show, and I think it serves an educational purpose, but also to show the market customers that this technology is mature. It's not bleeding edge, it's mature. These are blue chip companies here. And the questions from the audience have been great, so people are real excited.
Excellent. Jim Kobeilus, thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, and have a good day in the city of Big Shoulders.